A delay in harvesting the Georgia corn crop may not seem a big deal, but as Rick Treptow reports, this year's summer-long rains have thrown off schedules for farmers, not to mention their local grain buyers.
Getting the 2012 corn crop planted, grown, and yes, harvested with too many almost daily rains has not been easy. Decatur County farmers were glad to see the harvester in action.
Looks like we're making a decent crop. We're probably about 10 days behind on harvesting just because the amount of rain kept the corn wet and green, and we're still running 22% moisture and should be under 20, and as old as this corn is, should be well under 20 by now.
The Barbers have 3,000 acres of crops. Bobby's dad has 500 acres, and the rest of the corn, peanuts, cotton, 12 chicken houses, and some double-crop soybeans are left for Bobby. To manage everything, they have seen how data produced from GPS technology helps. The equipment is on a sprayer, a combine, even a fertilizer spreader.
We're starting to do variable rate fertilizer applications using our GPS system. We've got it in our sprayer, keeps us on our exact rows when we're spraying, especially when we're broadcast spraying pre-plant herbicides. We've started doing yield mapping on our combine, yield mapping our cornfields to get data on high and low yields or good and bad areas in the field so we can help adjust our fertilizer applications.
And when it comes time to use the chicken litter from his and neighbors' poultry houses, the sprayer and spreader can be programmed to do heavier applications where needed. Even chicken litter, though relatively inexpensive, is put out sparingly.
But you put it into places where it needs it on the variable rate instead of just broadcast across the field. It's not necessarily saving money, it's using our input more efficiently.
Now the corn has to be sold.
We've got the market for it because of the chicken mills around and the ethanol plant in Pelham, but there's a bunch of chicken mills in our area. We've got a market for it. We don't have the infrastructure for it. Georgia is the net importer of corn, so I think there will always be a market because of the chickens. If no other reason, the chickens will keep, feed use will keep us being a net importer. We've got to do something as a state or area on infrastructure if we're going to continue to grow corn.
The Georgia industry is still suffering from not enough infrastructure to handle these 1,000-bushel corn trucks from the fields without waiting in line.
I've prepared for this year. We've added an additional wet tank and working on the dryers where we get the maximum amount of dryers. Added additional dry storage down here, so we're able to handle what we contracted.
There's normally a comfortable 8-week harvest period to get the corn harvested so farmers can use conservation tillage to plant soybeans into the biomass.
But we lost 20 days in July because of all the rain, excessive rain, and the corn is still wet in the field, and that's giving us a lot of problems with it, trying to get it out.
Dollar also grows 1,900 acres of corn himself. He says the amount of corn grown by his customers will cycle each year. It's about the individual prices.
The investments I put in this year will take 7 to 9 years to pay for it. So it's hard to spend a lot of money without knowing what's going to go in, year out. But we cycle.
So the corn is being harvested now. The yields will certainly be much better than a drought year. I'm Rick Treptow for the Georgia Farm Monitor.